Thank you for tuning in today. I'm getting ready to go to a benefit here in just a little bit here in Caneyville, and I stopped in at Caneycreek for just a few minutes before I go to the benefit and do my broadcast. But do want to thank each one for tuning in. Over there, I think that's what you call, I'm posting this on YouTube as well, would be like a beaver's nest or whatever, so I've never actually seen one up close. I'm not sure if that's what that is or not, but I think it is. But anyways, I want to thank each one for tuning in, and I hope something said today to help you some way. I'm down here at a location where, and I posted this on Facebook. I said it's kind of a funny story. It's the first place in history that a cell phone ever went fishing. And it is kind of a funny story, and I'm not going to go into great detail, but I'll tell you a little bit of the story. But several years ago, as some of you know, I went through a divorce. I went through a pretty rocky marriage, and it was pretty, we only had like 1 good year the whole time we was married. And went through a lot and cried a lot, shed a lot of tears. Went to the bathrooms a lot of times and just bawled my eyes out. I went through an awful lot during that time. But during the last part of it, when I was trying to work things out and trying to save it, do whatever it took, there was a cell phone that me and her both shared. But most of the time I couldn't even touch it. She slept with it, hid it underneath her pillows. I would go outside, and once I go outside, I said, I can't talk, Billy's out here. So I went through a lot with that cell phone, and just a lot of things, and a lot of built up anger about that cell phone. And when she left me the final time, I was stupid enough to take her back one more time. But when I went through all that, she forgot the cell phone, her precious cell phone that she slept with, that she always would never let nobody else touch it but her. And she made the mistake of leaving it. And the more I thought about that cell phone, the more I thought she had to be doing something that she didn't want me to know. I didn't even bother to investigate like some people does, how you can go through the cell phone, look at history. Because pretty much I had in my mind that there's something up with that. The reason why I was never allowed to touch that phone. And if I did, she'd always clear something and say, here. But I never actually saw anything that was on the phone. And I always had to ask her before I could even use the phone, which was very rarely that I would even get the opportunity to use it. But when she left that precious cell phone and didn't take it with her, I come down here to Caneycreek, and I was so aggravated with that phone, and I kind of done something that probably wasn't godly like. But it was a moment of anger, and I took that phone and I split it up about 3 different pieces and threw it down here in Caneycreek. And she asked me, she said, well, Billy, I know you've had to find my phone by now. And for a while I was like, well, I'm looking forward or something for several days. I was like, when I find it, I'll let you know. But I really didn't have no plans to do nothing with it at that time. But finally something dawned on me that day, and I was like, I took it with me once I found it. And I threw it down about 3 different parts down in Caneycreek. And finally she asked me the final time, well, I had my phone. I was like, well, if you really want to know what happened to your phone, you need to go fishing. And she's like, what does that mean? And I said, it's at Caneycreek at the bottom of the river. And I don't know if it still is or not. It's been several years, but it was kind of a funny story. But that kind of brings me to my message today. In the book of James, around chapter 3, verse 5, it says, on the power of our tongue, we have both the power to speak both blessings and cursings upon our life. And I know a lot of you is familiar with that verse because I've quoted it several times. I spoke of it several times. But in life, there's many opportunities that may get us to a point of breaking. But if we think positive things will begin to happen. When I crossed this today, as soon as I crossed this and as soon as I got here, I was reminded of what happened all those years ago. But then I was like, what funny thing happened? And we can look back on our mistakes. We can look back on our breakdowns, which we all sometimes have. I had a lapse of a memory break for a while, and I had a lapse of a breakdown because I went through so much. And we all had those points in our lives. We all have those points when we reach a breaking point and we just can't take no more. We can try to put on that happy face. We can try to be positive all we want to. But there comes a moment in time when we just have a lapse of memory loss. And we just lose all self. And it's okay. Because God can forgive you. I was talking to an old friend of mine just yesterday. And I was talking about, well, she was talking about how she was going through a lot. And I said, well, you know me, when I was growing up, I was always very positive. And she's like, yeah, that's one reason why I want to talk to you, because you've always been a positive, uplifting person. But I said, there was a time in my life whenever I didn't think I had any hope. I was down to the very last, and I didn't care whether I lived or died to see tomorrow. We all have a point in that, like that in our lives. But we're only as strong as our weakest moment. And what makes us weak only makes us stronger. And you too can survive. You too can make it. And you too can look up on your breakdown moments and say a funny thing happened at so-and-so place, at so-and-so time, at so-and-so season. It didn't bring no bad memories to me when I reached Caneycreek. In fact, that's why I had in my mind to go today, was Caneycreek. Not because of this message, not because of the thought that crossed my mind, because it didn't cross my mind until I got here. And I don't know if that was the devil, I don't know if that was God. You know, sometimes the devil tries to remind us of our failures. Sometimes the devil tries to remind us of our mistakes. But also sometimes God reminds us of where we've been and where we're at now. I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for those breakdown moments that I've had in my life. I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for those weak moments. And I thank God for each and every time of my life. And I wouldn't trade one single bit of my life for anything, because it's made me the person that I am today. And you say even the good and even the bad, and that's most certainly. Because sometimes I look back and I think, but God, I wished I could change that. And then I think, but God, what kind of person would I be today? Would I be the same person that I am? Will I be as strong as I am today? And the answer is no. Because we're only as strong as our weakest moment. And what makes us weak only makes us stronger. And you can truly survive today. You can truly stand, and you can truly make it. And once upon a time, God may bring you back to that area that you lost your moments, that you lost your train of thought for just a minute, and you went out of yourself and you had a breakdown. This is the first time I've been to this location. I pass it all the time. This is the first time I've done a broadcast here at this location for several years. I didn't even do it then. I've done it before, but I didn't do it then. And it wasn't the same broadcast that I'm doing now. But just think back at those moments. And sometimes God will bring you back to those broke down moments to remind you of where you've been and where you're at now. There is nothing too impossible for God. There's no mountain too high, there's no valley too low that God cannot reach. All you've got to do today is but trust upon Him and realize that's where your Redeemer liveth today. This is the altar call song today. I want y'all to begin to pray today. There is coming a day when no heartache shall come. No more clouds in the sky. No more tears to dim the eye. There'll be peace forevermore on that happy golden shore. What a day, glorious day that will be. What a day that will be when my Jesus I shall see. What has God done for you today? There's nothing impossible for him. There's no mountain too high. There's no valley too low that God cannot reach. And you can achieve it if you dream it today. May God bless each and every one of you today. This is the final song. You want more opportunity to pray. As the world looks upon me, as I struggle alone, they say I have nothing, but they are so wrong. For in my heart I'm rejoicing, oh how I wish they could see. Thank you, Lord, for your blessings on me. There's a roof up above me, I've got shoes on my feet. There's food on my table, Lord, and a good place to sleep. For you gave me your love, Lord, and a fine family. Thank you, Lord, for your blessings on me. Bless God. Love for you today. Just begin to thank God for all that he's done. May God bless you. Until next time.